Hello, and welcome back to the Reverend Money Podcast, the show where I answer one of your money questions in 10 minutes or less. If you are new to the show, my name is Race Lamb. I am a certified financial education instructor, a Baptist minister, and the founder of Reverend Money. I've been working with faith leaders around their personal finances since 2018, and I am honored to be a part of your financial formation journey. If you have a question around personal finance, financial management, or how justice plays into all of this, I invite you to submit it for a future episode by recording a voice memo on your phone and emailing it to me at race@reverendmoney.com or by following the prompts in the podcast description below. This week, we have a great question that I believe a lot of parents have, so let's listen in and grow together.
Hey there, my name is Jocelyn, and I want to start saving for my kids' college. I've heard of a 529 savings plan, but curious as to what happens if my child decides not to go to college.
It's a great question, Jocelyn, and one more and more parents are asking as the cost of higher education rises and the landscape of post-high school options keeps shifting. So let's break it down. A 529 savings plan is a tax advantage savings account designed to help families save for education expenses. You contribute after-tax money into the plan and it grows tax-free. As long as you use the money for qualified education expenses, you won't pay any federal taxes on withdrawals. Qualified educational expenses includes things like tuition and fees, books and supplies, room and board, depending on your child's enrollment status, and even some apprenticeship programs. It is also important to know that each state, except one, Wyoming, sponsors its own 529 plan, and you can typically open one up regardless of where you live. However, some states do offer tax deductions or credits for contributions, so I do invite you to first do a deeper dive into the plan of whatever state you are living in first. Now, for the heart of your question, what if your child decides not to go to college? It's the looming fear with 529 plans, but the good news is that your money doesn't disappear. You have options, and I want to give you 5 of them. The first option is you could use the funds for other types of qualified education expenses. In recent years, 529 rules have expanded, allowing you to now use the money for things such as vocational or trade schools, K through 12 tuition for a private or religious school experience, and even student loan repayment. It is no longer just limited to traditional college. The second option you have is to transfer the plan to another family member. For example, if you have another child, a grandchild, a niece, nephew, and get this, even yourself. I actually know someone who gifted their child's 529 plan to themselves after their child didn't go to college and are using it to support continuing education opportunities for them in retirement. They valued education, and this was a way for them to reframe this account for good as they entered into their senior years. A third option is to keep it for future use. If your child takes a gap year or returns to school later in life, the money is still there, growing tax-free. There is no expiration date. And while college may not be their first step in their professional career, it might be their second or even their third. And if so, you have helped them prepare for that moment. A fourth option I want to name, because it is an option, even if it has some downside to it, is to withdraw for non-education expenses, knowing that a penalty will apply. So yes, you can withdraw the money for something else, but you will pay income tax plus a 10% penalty on the earnings portion. The original contributions aren't taxed again, and while there is a penalty, sometimes this makes a lot of sense for folks who need the money to buy a house, pay off debt, or cushion their retirement savings. While I would suggest you to consider all the other options first, always remember that this is your money And this is an option. You may just have to pay taxes and an additional penalty. The final option I want to make sure you are aware of is a newer opportunity with 529 savings plans that allows you to roll up to $35,000 of unused 529 funds into a Roth IRA for the beneficiary. This change happened in 2024. Before 2024, this was not possible. The Roth must be in the name of the 529 beneficiary, and the account must have been open for at least 15 years. But that's a powerful new option if your child decides college isn't their path, but still needs a jump start on retirement savings. So, Jocelyn, you have options, at least 5 of them, in fact. In my opinion, saving for your child's future is a sacred act of care and stewardship. A 529 plan is just one tool among many to support that. As ministers whose profession typically involves a lot of education, it's easy for us to get caught up in preparing for one reality for our child's future, college. But we know that isn't always the case. However, with these options, you can still use a 529 savings plan now to faithfully prepare for your child's future. And there you have it. So to sum it up, 529 plans are flexible, tax-advantaged ways to save for education. If your child doesn't attend college, there are still many ways to use the money without losing it. And thanks to new laws, you can now even roll unused funds into a Roth IRA. I've also created a free downloadable resource sheet to go along with today's episode that captures the key points. You can grab it at reverendmoney.com/podcast or by following the link in the episode description below. Just drop your email and I'll send it right to your inbox. Thank you for joining me today. If you found today's episode helpful, I invite you to share the show with a new parent in your life, a colleague, or on social media. And please leave me a review wherever you are listening, as it helps other faith leaders find the show. Friends, thank you for your ministry to this world. And until next week, go in peace.